Good evening. Welcome back to the Terrace. Hit the like buttons and make sure you are subscribing. I hope you're all doing very, very well. And what is a beautiful Sunday here in the United Kingdom. I hope wherever you are around the world, you are happy, well, safe, and enjoying yourselves. Lots to talk about on the show this evening. We are going to take your calls as well. Mbappe to Real Madrid, done deal over the line. We're looking at reports of a potential bid for Victor Osimhen from Arsenal. There also could be moves from Saudi Arabia for him. That is coming out of Italian outlets this evening. We're going to take a look and get your views on the likes of Tosin to Chelsea. I want to get some opinions on that. And a real big one breaking in the early part of the afternoon is that Bayern Munich are have held a meeting and demonstrated interest into Bruno Fernandes. They held a meeting with his agent. On top of that, Barcelona also want to sit and speak to Bruno Fernandes' agent to talk about a potential exit from Manchester United as well. Of course, I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Your opinions on these stories matter, honestly, so much more to me than mine do. You help to educate me, shape my opinion, and of course, help provide entertainment to the viewers that are tuning in. I just saw a funny comment there. Happy Sunday, Terry. Hope you're doing well. I am. You know what? Bit of work this morning, a bit of decorating today. Very, very boring life. I'm a middle-aged man now, essentially. I live a very boring life. A bit of breakfast, a bit of work, a bit of decorating. I cooked a beautiful Sunday dinner, if I do say so myself, because I make my own gravy from scratch. That's actually my favorite bit. Ate that, and now I'm here with you beautiful, beautiful people. Right, let's start. And we have to start in one place today, and that's going to be on the Mbappe news. Now, Mbappe, we knew, I mean, it's the worst kept secret in football, there's no doubt. We absolutely knew that he was going to become a Real Madrid player. I think we all knew this. I don't think anybody was expecting anything different. I know there's been a few murmurs and a few reports, etc., but he was always going to become a Real Madrid player. I felt that was a cast iron opinion to have. Fabrizio was formally announced it from his point of view. He's given it the here we go. And all I can say is goddamn Real Madrid. Biggest club in the world, most successful team in the world, one of the best squads currently in the world, one of the best managers in the world, and they're about to add Mbappe to it. There's talk of Alphonso Davies as well this summer. And listen, as I say, it was the worst kept secret. We absolutely knew that this was going to happen. How good is he? Listen, I've been saying this for a long time. For me, Mbappe's got a World Cup legacy. He somewhat has a legacy in the Champions League because he's got a great goal scoring record, great knockout goal scoring record. Hasn't won it yet, but I think he will at some point. What he doesn't have yet is a domestic legacy in any way, shape, or form. And I mean this with all due respect to the French league. Not enough people around the world watch it. It's just a fact. That the numbers prove that not a lot of people around the world watch it. Not in comparison to La Liga or the Premier League. And I felt for a long time that he has to go and prove it in one of the top domestic leagues. Now, I don't mean prove it from the perspective of prove it to me. I'm already convinced. I just mean you have to deliver. And I think when he goes to La Liga, which will happen now, if and when he starts banging in goals, winning trophies, being integral to them, it will give him that domestic, European, and international legacy, which I believe a player of his ability and caliber deserves to have. And I'm glad that he's making the move. It's a little bit later than I probably expected in his career. But listen, it's going to be an interesting one. I think he's going to absolutely kill it. I'd love to get your views and I'd love to get your opinions on that deal. Now, moving to North London, this story was sent through to me in a DM. Got shared by Arsenal staff, and this was a report that came out of Italy from La Grazia. I mean, very, very big organization, 1.9 million followers, state that Victor Osimhen is expecting an offer from Arsenal or Saudi. The contrast of those two clubs looking at him, according to this report, is crazy. Arsenal or Saudi. It says that Osimhen dreams of playing in the Premier League. With their move to Saudi, more of a temptation for Napoli than the player. Napoli are insistent on his 130 million release clause being paid. The problem with this story is, yes, he's waiting for the bid. Yes, he wants the Arsenal move. But is he worth 130 million? I don't know. Part of me wants to say yes. I've watched him and rate, and I have to make sure I say this in the right way. My personal feeling is that he is. I like this player. I think he's talented. I enjoy watching him play. I've seen him be dangerous. But I have to look at who else is trying to buy him. Arsenal and Saudi clubs. Chelsea have pulled away. PSG, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Some of that might be financial. Some already have strikers. Nobody else is trying to buy him, as far as we can see. And that is a red flag for me. So when I speak about Victor, it's almost this case of, my personal feeling is, Arsenal, you've almost got a free run at him. Go and get one of the best goal scorers in the world. Yes, it's expensive, but he's experienced. He's played in the Champions League. He's won league titles. He's of good age. He has good physicality, good speed. But then there's this red flag, which is nobody else is trying to buy him. And I can't shake it. I can't shake that red flag. Now, I don't want to come across as disrespectful. I don't want to come across as though I'm being horrible to him. The other thing I want to ask about Victor Osimhen is, how do you say his name? Now, some people say, Terry, how can you not know? Your ball knowledge is rubbish. You want to know why? Every time I say it or somebody else says it, I must get 5 or 6 different comments from people telling me 4 or 5 or 6 different ways of saying it. Legit. And I sort of sit there sometimes and think to myself, I don't know what to do now. I genuinely don't know what to do now because I get told 3 or 4 different ways to say it. So let us know. Osimhen. Okay, like that. Osimhen. Okay, that actually makes more sense. What does Google Translate say? Osimhen. Osimhen, like that. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm going to go with you, Mish. Osimhen. There we go. I'm going to go with Osimhen. That makes a lot more sense to me because I definitely say it wrong. But that's because I keep getting told different ways to say it. It's pronounced Osimhen. There we go. A lot of you are saying it in there, but I guarantee you some people will come in and say something different. Osimhen. I got it. Got it down. But yeah, Arsenal fans, let me know what you think and feel about that deal. Of course, you're linked to Sesko as well. This story continues to pick up pace. Continues to pick up pace. I need to get your thoughts. I need to understand. Which of the two would you prefer? Let me know. Now, a story that has come across my desk today, and I say my desk, that's an old-fashioned way of saying someone putting paper on your desk. It was emailed to me. It actually was emailed me a link. You guys send me things in all manner of ways. And this states that Bayern Munich are in talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent. Barcelona have also expressed an interest. Fernandes is now preparing for the Euros with Portugal, whilst his agent may finalize a move away from Man United. Now, I didn't like reading this one. Because I want Bruno Fernandes to stay at Manchester United. I absolutely do. Want him to stay at Manchester United. I'm kind of desperate for it, if I'm being honest. I think short term anyway. But am I surprised that Bayern Munich and Barcelona's are looking at Bruno Fernandes? No. And this is where you've got to learn to put subjectivity to the side and be objective. You may sit there with your friend and he's arguing with you that Ruben Loftus-Cheek's a top class to world class midfielder. But when he's being sold, who's trying to buy him? That gets you an objective answer most of the time. Bruno Fernandes, a lot of people say that he's mid. So if he's willing to leave or Man United are willing to sell him because we want a future without him, if it's Bayern Munich and Barcelona's, who are still 2 of the top teams in Europe, Barca are off their normal level, but they won the league a year ago, right? in the Liga, which a lot of people would tell me is the best league in the world. Definitely one of the top two. Bayern Munich, who are looking to bounce back after what is a poor season by their standards, are looking at him. It isn't Tottenham or Atalanta or Porto that are trying to buy him. And I mean that with due respect to those clubs. So that's also the red flag here for me as well. I am a Bruno fan, but if I'm being objective, look who's trying to buy him. And I think Manchester United have to take stock in that. I think Man United have to be aware of that. You can dislike Bruno Fernandes all you want, but you have to look. You simply have to look at the clubs that are trying to buy the individual. You know, you just do. It's as simple and straightforward as that to me. Bruno carries United for years. He certainly has done, there's no doubt. Terry, Bruno deserves any pay rise, so doesn't deserve any pay rise, so let United sell him. Look, there's one thing about, again, if the club are looking to sell him because he's holding the club to ransom, wants ridiculous money, that's a very, very different conversation again. That changes the scenario, but he's currently got a deal that runs until 2026. So there's still a couple with a further year option. So there's 3 years remaining on his contract. There is absolutely no reason at this particular moment for Man United to panic. By the end of that 3-year period, he'll be 32 years of age. Who's going to be coming in for him anyway? So he isn't in a position to hold Manchester United to ransom. So I feel like that's a little bit of a false narrative that is being pushed. What is happening is Man United may be looking beyond him because of the direction the club is going in. And because of that, all players are essentially up for sale if they don't fit the way you want to play football moving forward. The positive news is that we're getting the debates ended here. It's the top clubs in the world that are coming in for him, not the mid-level clubs or the lower-level clubs. It's the big boys, which proves what a potent and quality player he really, really is. But look, Man United fans, I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions. I want to know what you think and feel in relation to this potential move away from Man United. I hope it doesn't happen personally, but we will see. If Bruno Fernandes moves to Bayern Munich, we'll find out if Bruno hate was mostly because he played for United or people simply dislike the player. Oh, there'll be a completely different narrative about him if he went to Bayern and when he delivers for them. There'll be a completely different. It will be twisted into, Man United are so stupid for letting him go. He's hated because partly because he plays for Man United, but also partly because he's an excellent player that is at Manchester United. Terry, check the Time Sport. United given the clear to play Europa. I'm not surprised. I knew he'd be given the all clear. The fact that the RB teams play, the fact that Girona and City are going to play in the same comp. I knew Man United and Nice would. That element of these types of owners, that's where they're not stupid, in my personal opinion. Big up Matt there, 5 months as a member of the Football Terrace, you legend. I appreciate that a lot. Remember, we are going to talk tossing to Chelsea as well on the show. Look, I'll give you my opinions on that first before I open up the line. I think it's really good business for Chelsea. I know a lot of you have watched my shows over the last couple of days where this deal's been discussed. I think he's the right age profile. I think he is a talented player. He's coming on a free. Everything about this tossing deal to Chelsea I like. I really, really do. There's no negative for it, in my opinion. Unless you're a Newcastle fan, then of course there's going to be a negative. But I think it's a tremendously good piece of business. It's low risk, but I want to understand what you think and feel. Sean here says, Mainu to Arsenal, not on your... You can have him for £400 million. Plus Declan Rice. £400 million plus Rice. You can have him. I wouldn't sell him. I still wouldn't sell him. I really, really wouldn't. 130 million for Osimhen or 135 million for Bruno and Sesko. I think we all know what Arsenal fans want. And that's a really good point. That's also when I like Osimhen. I do like him. But I have to be objective. And there's something about this deal that smells off to me And it means my opinion on the player could be wrong, but I can't ignore the signs. I can't ignore the signs. The signs are there. No one's really interested in him. No one's been willing to pay any big money for him so far. It's a problem. Harry here says, Terry, what's your opinion on Ten Hag's leaked wig? Heard you got it off your mum. I don't know what else to say to that. I won't like Bruno wherever he goes, but I do feel he'll probably improve at big clubs where he isn't required to be the leader. It won't be the leader element. It will be he'll improve in a team that's better, where there's better quality around him. If he had better centre-backs, better strikers, better midfielders around him over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, he would, and better managers in a better run club, he would have also looked better. It's simple as that for me. If United sack Ten Hag and then sell Bruno, expect more dark times ahead. Listen, I'm going to remain open. Even if they do things I don't agree with to begin with, I'm going to remain open-minded. I'm going to wait to see some of the fruits of their labor before I go crazy. But we'll see what happens. I'll be gutted if Bruno Fernandes leaves. Depends who you replace him with. Depends on who the manager is and what the style of football is. Maybe the style of football, the club think actually Bruno isn't going to be best suited to that. And player X that comes in is, and we improve as a team. As long as we improve as a team, I don't directly care, but I think we should stick with Bruno. That's on a personal level. I believe we should do that. Terry, what do you think about Alvaro Levaz, the Chelsea, the goalkeeper? Yeah, I spoke about this morning on a video. I don't know very much about him whatsoever. I saw the story. 26 years of age, highly touted. Been a long day. Highly touted. I don't know enough about him, though, to give a full and frank opinion and breakdown of who and what he is. What I do like about it is another player that's going to be 27 by the time the season starts. So he's of a really good age to be going in to this Chelsea setup. That element looks really, really good in my personal opinion. Terry, do you believe Man United, I think you mean, have paid the De Zerbi release clause? No, I don't. Maybe, but I mean, we could have done. I haven't really been thinking about it, if that makes sense. I do believe the reason why we've delayed the situation with Ten Hag is purely to have this sort of week of celebration after lifting the FA Cup, which I think is fair. LVG had that taken away from him when he was literally dismissed after the game in the tunnel. And I feel that we've done it the right way around. We may stay with Ten Hag, we'll see. But no, the buyout clause story, not sure. Oh my God. I've suddenly got really tired since I've been streaming. A genuine question, Terry. Aren't the transfer fees getting a bit too outrageous? Yes, he's talented, but he's not worth 130 million. They are and they're not. So I think to you and I and the majority of the working class in the world, these prices are astronomical. But you've only got to look at the TV money and the income of clubs compared to yesteryear. So clubs, you're talking billions. We're getting towards tens of billions of pounds coming in through domestic and international TV rights over a 2 to 3 year period into the league. You go back 20 years and those deals were like 500 million. You go back another 10 years, 20 years before that, and you're talking 10 million maybe between all the clubs. So as more money has been pumped into the game through TV, through social media, the price of buying the assets within the game has gone up as well. So it is and it isn't, if that makes sense. It's Terry, it's Mainu's first season. Do you think he can be consistent year? Mainu can become consistent as long as the club becomes stable. Mainu will go down the same path as every other talented player we have promoted or signed in the last decade. If the club remains unstable, their future will be unstable. Doesn't matter how talented you are in life. You need a stable environment. Whether you're a child, you can have an intelligent child, an articulate child, and a talented child. If home life isn't stable, If home life is inconsistent, that impacts them. If the school you're at has poor teachers, poor structure, that will impact the children. You know, if a business is inconsistent, if the leadership is poor, that will impact the employees and the training and the progression of the company. So Mainu has got to hold himself accountable in many areas, but the club will play a key part. So I hope that Man United can progress as a club and bring him along the way as well. Both things are 110% needed. This is from Babukar. He says, Osimhen is a world-class player, I think he means, who would instantly improve us, Chelsea. But I don't think we are at a stage where we can have 3 £100 million players as we're still competing for a top 4 finish. But if he's as good as you say you are and you bring in a world-class striker, surely that would stop you from being a team challenging for the top 4 and maybe push you a little bit higher. If you had a striker last season that was a 30-goal a season, that's what I'd call a world-class striker, a 30-goal a season striker, surely Chelsea would have been much higher up in the league table. Surely. Akil here says, we really have to appreciate the maturity of the Real Madrid as a club. After winning the Champions League, Perez already said he is aiming for the 16th. The next day, they announce Mbappe. I hope my club, Chelsea, operates like that. Look, as I've said before, their standards are amazing. I love how they operate. I love how they behave. But your club's got to get to those standards, get to that level before you can start acting that way directly. You have to get to that point. If you start living like a millionaire before you become a millionaire, you're probably going to go bankrupt, which means you'll never become a millionaire, right? You've got to progress to those points, progress to those situations, if that makes sense. You know, it's if you want to be a heavyweight boxing champion, your first professional fight, you can't go up against a heavyweight champion, fight 12 rounds just because you got high standards. You have to build your way to that point. And although clubs are here forever, depending on the situation you find yourselves in, you've got to get out of that space. But what I admire so much about Real Madrid is they haven't allowed themselves to fall off, really. Not in my lifetime. Even if they've not been winning in Europe. And they have had in my lifetime some periods where they haven't won it. But they've always remained competitive in their own league. They're a phenomenal outfit. They really are. You've done me. I'm sad now. You know I didn't do you, Harry. It was all just a little bit of a joke, really. Look, I'm going to share the link now for people to come on and have their say. I'd love to hear from you all. I'd love to get your views, your opinions on these transfer stories that are flying around. Let me just share it now in the comment section. Okay, that's in there. I'm going to post it in the live chat and I'm going to pin it into the live chat as well. So you'll see it come up on your screens. If you're in any of our group chats, I'm going to go and share it in them for you as well. So if you're in any of those, I'm going to go and stick it in those group chats so you guys can see it all. Once my computer actually decides to load, we'll definitely get that done. Terry trying French. I don't know what you mean. What did I say something that's French? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Bear with me just while I post this, please, my people. Oops, I posted the wrong link. That's what I do, you see, when I'm doing it myself. KJ ain't working today. Which is, by the way, very fair. He works most days. But he ain't working today. Well, he's probably doing some work, but he's not backstage. I just posted it in the group chats as well. If you're in any of our group chats and you're also tuning in, feel free to jump on and have your say. Kish here, thank you for becoming a member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us becoming an Academy member. Thank you very, very much indeed. What if Man City play against Girona? Well, they're allowed to. Terry, what's the most important position for Man United to fill? We've already done it. Well, once he's in Dan Ashworth's position under Barada, I feel like that collective group is the most important thing for us this year. How we're run is more important to us than our manager and any player we sign. Harrison here proposed, he's saying UEFA will permit Manchester United to compete alongside their sister club in Europe next season. We knew they would. I know for a lot of people it is breaking news, but for me, it's just Sunday. One of our members here says, I believe Osimhen scored over 25 goals he will score over 25 goals in this Arsenal team. Well, that's the big question. I mean, and people are saying he's overpriced. A lot of people are saying we'll go and get Isak. I mean, Isak's going to cost you more, maybe. Isak might cost you more. Did I say something in another language? That way you're all asking me why don't I say it in Spanish. What did I say? What word did I say? Because I was watching Only Fools and Horses earlier, and it's a British sitcom, and one of the characters just says random French things, and I kind of just do that off the cuff sometimes. So I'm sorry if I did. I didn't mean to. There we go. Kudus to Liverpool, Terry. Well, I've heard rumours of Mohamed Kudus to Liverpool. I've heard rumours that Manchester United are showing interest in him. Look, West Ham are going to fight tooth and nail, Becky, to keep Mohamed Kudus in East London this season. 110% they're going to do it. But I get why Liverpool, and I get why Man United would be looking at him. He's got great technique, wonderful speed, great power, can score goals, and he's versatile. He can operate on the left sometimes. He can play in the middle. He can play as a striker. Predominantly plays on the right-hand side, yes, but he's got great and wonderful versatility to his game. So from my perspective, I hope Man United get him. If he doesn't come Man United, I hope he stays at West Ham or leaves England. He's that good a player. He really, really is that good a player. So, Becky, thank you very much for that. And yes, it's going to be intriguing to see what he decides to do and what West Ham decide to do. So first caller of the day we're going to take, it's going to be an interesting one, is Saif. Saif is going to come on the show, a.k.a. my stalker. I haven't spoke to him in a while. Saif, welcome back to the show. Jesus. What do you want to say? Oh, hey. Look at, hang on, let me see that haircut. Let me see that. Look at that, bruv.
Yes, man, yes. What's up? How are you? Good?
I'm very well, Saif. What are you here to say?
Well, I'm here to say about Arsenal for the first time, and I'd like to talk about Mikel Arteta. I'm sick and tired of watching Northside and Lee Gunner talking so negative about Arteta. What Arteta has achieved is incredible. No manager has achieved as well as Arteta has achieved. If you look at the first team squad, it's one of the best squads Arteta has built. In my opinion, and quote me if I'm wrong, Terry, do you agree that this squad is as good as the 1918? Forget about the bench, but let's talk about the first team players.
This Arsenal team is not as good as a double-winning 1998 team. No.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
Are you telling me Martinelli is as good as Petit? They play similar football.
He's not as good as Petit, no.
Well, I disagree with you because I believe that this Arsenal team, if we gave Arteta another 600 million to build a bench squad, Arsenal will be a fantastic team. They'll be as good as Man City and Liverpool. That's my personal opinion about Mikel Arteta. What Arteta has achieved is, if you see him from, I think he came in November 2019, the points that he has achieved from 2019 to 2020, and the points he has achieved from 2020 to 21, from 21 to 22, 22 to 23, 23 to 24 has increased.
Yeah.
If you look at Manchester United manager, every time we had a good point, we qualified for the Champions League. The second season, our points has dropped. And you're telling me right now that if we gave Arteta right now another 600 million to build a bench squad, a decent bench squad, players that can come from the bench and can change the game or can score goals. Arsenal cannot win the Premier League. He has a first team squad. He almost won the league by 1 point. Tell me which other managers has built a decent team like Mikel Arteta has done.
Well, look, there's been lots of teams that have built teams better. Obviously, this Man City team, the Liverpool team that's won Premier Leagues. It's been, most of the teams that have won the EPL have been better than this Arsenal team.
Well, I mean, not like Arteta. I mean, Pep Guardiola can't build a team. Pep Guardiola has came in from level 5. A team has already been built. He just added 2 or 3 players. but Arteta has started from the scrap, and he has built a base, made a foundation to a fantastic, one of the best Arsenal teams you have seen in the history. Believe me, I mean, you're telling me Saka is one of the best right wingers players in the world. I mean, put it this way: if Arsenal decided to sell Saka, his next move will be to Real Madrid.
Mm.
What do you think? Do you agree with me?
I mean, Saka's very, very, very talented. Whether he goes to Real Madrid or not remains to be seen. When it comes to Arsenal's transfer window, they're linked to Osimhen, they're linked to Benjamin Sesko. Which of the two would you sign?
I'll sign both. I'll literally sign both because what Arsenal need, they need plan B and plan C. And for me, Arsenal in the next 12 months to 24 months, they would win the Premier League and the Champions League. And Terry, I'm sick and tired of League Ghana and Northside are trying to avoid me because I'm calling them out here, especially League Ghana. Oh, I don't want to talk to Saif. He doesn't like Saif. I thought he doesn't even know me. And he went just like a little girl. I know his name starts with LG. So LG means little girl whinging all the time. It's true, doesn't it?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Honestly, like I just don't understand why League is so negative about Arteta. Can he not see what
my question to you is, why does it matter to you that League Gunner is negative? How does it change your life?
It changes my life because every time I watch him, he's always in high rate, always angry.
If you don't, again, listen, I respect, watch whatever you want to watch in this world, absolutely. But why would you watch something you don't like?
Because I want to say his opinion in football debate. I love different types of opinion. And when I come on and I say, look, I want to challenge you on Arteta, he says, no, I don't want to say you're not supposed to challenge me because you don't know anything about Arsenal.
I think sometimes, Saif, it's because you're a bit weird.
I'm not weird.
Now, you listen, we all know you used to hide outside my place of work. You send me pictures outside Barclays.
I've never done
You used to send me pictures of naked women saying we should double team them. You did all these very strange things.
I never done it.
It was always like really muscly women. You did all these things, Safe. And because
that's a joke, but I didn't do this to you.
I mean, it's not a joke to stand outside my place of work.
I did not stand outside your workplace.
You definitely sent me photos. I did not know Eddie, are you inside? You sent me all those things, bro. Listen, Safe, always a pleasure to speak with you, my friend, and we'll chat again soon. Take care.
Arsenal would win the league next season and the Champions League. Big up Arteta.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Sorry. Safe is a character. He is a did you stalk me? Genuinely. He used to send me pictures going, I'm outside your building, Terry. And yeah, I don't know. He's a strange guy. Next on the show, we've got King. King is with us. Who just got King? King is with us. Who just got King? Oh, shut down whatever you're listening to me on. Sorry, mate. Me on. And I will come back to you in a minute. We're going to go to, I think it's pronounced Leahy. Leahy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Who do you support, mate?
I'm an Arsenal fan.
Arsenal. Talk to me. Obviously, transfers. You're linked to Sesko. There's talk today from Italy that Osimhen's sort of team are expecting a bid from you. Who would you buy?
Obviously, Sesko. So, first of all, for long-time lurker, first time on the show. But, Sesko. I mean, Osimhen, we're talking about the price that they are quoting for this guy, over 100 million pounds or something to that effect. For me, like I'm not too sold on him. But I've watched your shows for a long time, and over the past couple of weeks, I've seen the usual suspects, come on your show and talk about how this person is not good or that person is not good. Like if you want to win, you have to do X, Y, or Z. I feel like everybody's missing a particular point about whether or not Harvard can actually get better next year. It's like we are making this assumption that it's going to stay stagnant and it can't even get better. Therefore, it can kind of like expand your mind as to what kind of other players you can look in the market for. Because if the team believes that it can, get 20% better next year, I mean, we're talking about a very good player.
Mm.
When you compare that to, how he's performed this season, especially given the fact that he will have had more time to bed in, he's more comfortable, he gets more used to the players around him and the role that is asked to play. I think he can get a little better next year, 20-30% better. What that means is you can now kind of like quote unquote gamble with a Sesko or whatever the case may be, and also invest whatever money in key positions. I think the midfield needs reinforcement big time. Like if you're going to go big this summer, I believe it's got to be in the midfield, not really in the forward area, quite frankly.
Listen, I hear you, and I think that everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think some people genuinely feel you need a prolific top-class striker. I think that there are others, and I think you can tell the difference between them and some people that will consistently ask for things they know Arsenal are not going to do, just so they can say, that's what we should have done. It's almost that you see them as pre-season starts when they're going to go, right, what are we not going to do? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. They sit in a room together or in a group chat and go, right, what are we not going to do? We're probably not going to buy a backup goalkeeper. So let's create a narrative there. Do you remember at the start of last season, a lot of Arsenal fans created that narrative that the manager was an idiot because he was breaking up the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League because he had Gabriel started the first few games on the bench and Ben White went in the middle and I think Partey was at right back. And everybody else was like, it's probably like a match fitness issue here. That's all it is. And I think that's the problem with this. It's not that people are wrong to not want Osimhen. And it's almost the joy they take out of it. They pretend they're angry, but you can see through the veil. And it's like, I think you're kind of happy because it gives you some fuel to throw on the fire. Maybe I'm off. I don't know, but it's how it feels to me.
I totally agree. I feel like, the outrage machine is out there. Like people are waiting to find the next thing to just get mad about. If we really think about it, like if you really think about it, it is highly unlikely that Arsenal is going to buy Osimhen. To me, it just doesn't fit an Arteta player. Maybe it would, I don't know. It just doesn't fit that mold in terms of what we've seen before. If you look at all of the players, especially the players that they spent big money on, these are folks that could play in more than one position. I don't know where else Osimhen can play besides that. Now, people are saying we need a number 9. Yes, we need a number 9, but I don't believe we need a 20, 30. I mean, people say 30 goal a season player. Who is out there that will score 30 goals? Like, I want somebody to give me a name. Even when Haaland was coming, I don't know that we all thought he would score 30 goals. Did we think he would score 30 goals? Like, I remember on your show, people were coming in saying Darwin Núñez was going to, perform better. And after the Community Shield 2 seasons ago, if you remember when Liverpool won, people thought Núñez was going to
wipe the floor. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think Benjamin Sesko, by the way, is quality. I really do. Yes, he's young, but I sort of feel like he's on the edge of being ready to absolutely explode. And if you pick him up for 45 million and then bolster the midfield and bolster the attack with additional quality, again, I think Arsenal have the ability to go to it. Again, you're already at a very high level. I think you've got the ability to break through that barrier and go to the next one. Again, on paper, we haven't seen any of these players kick a ball together. We can always be wrong, but just the gut feeling. Benjamin Sesko is a player I've watched for the last 3 years. I think he's tremendously talented, and I'm a little bit jealous that you're all looking at him. Really, in terms of the midfield you mentioned, who would you like to see Arsenal go for in the midfield?
So I really love Amadou Onana. If you watch him in that last game that we played against Everton, he fits that kind of player that Arteta likes. He's 6'4", 6'5". He's super, super press resistant. I know a lot of people don't really rate him as much, but he's a very good technical ball player. And I can see him and Rice kind of like go back and forth between the 6 and 8 role. So, people talking about Bruno Guimaraes, and I don't think we're going to go for Bruno. Like, I don't think so. I think Onana is I love that player. So I that is one person that I really wish we can go for. Outside of that, obviously Frankie De Jong. And if we can get like, if I'm going to invest a lot of money, say I have 200 million to buy players this summer, I'm looking for 2 quality midfield, Frankie and Amadou Onana, and then maybe Partey will go, and obviously we're keeping Jorginho. That, I think that is a good depth right there. And then, you can find, we know Timber is coming back for the left. That hopefully he stays healthy all season. And then in that forward line, I saw something today about Rafinha, or, something to that effect. Like, if we get Sesko in, then what that means is, Jesus and some of these other guys can kind of like switch back and forth in that forward line. So I don't feel like there is, yes, we need like a, some sort of a statement player this window, but I think it's a midfield.
If you had Benjamin Sesko coming on this season just gone instead of Nketiah, think about all those games he came on when you needed a goal to win.
Yeah.
I think there's far more chance you pick up 2, 3, 4, 5 more points, him coming off the bench, than Eddie Nketiah. And that's why I don't necessarily think you have to go for that sort of quote unquote 27-year-old ready-made 180 million pound striker. I think someone like Benjamin Sesko can give you more than enough to go to that next level and win major trophies. Great call, my friend. Definitely phone in again. Really, really good. Top man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the show, I'm going to Mr. Krishna. I think he's here with us. London's finest. How you doing, mate?
Hello. Hi. Hi, Terry.
Hi. How you doing? You good? What are you here to speak about, my friend?
Yeah, I'm a Tottenham fan actually, and I wanted to talk a little bit about maybe the Spurs signings lately, and but which are nothing much, basically. But the only thing that has come out of Spurs so far is that Timo Werner, we have re-signed him on loan again for another year, and I am pretty unhappy with that particular one, because we need to be doing better than that. Especially given that we were poor at for the entire season in our wide areas, like compared to the last few seasons, we were not there, and especially with players like Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner, it's definitely not the kind of standards that we should be going for, and I am absolutely annoyed with that one. But I would love to see where we are going forward with this. Like this could be like one of those where you just re-sign him on a loan. But I would like to see now what ahead now for this club moving forward. Are we going to now sign any players on top of this, or is this now just a stopgap signing where we just stop? So that would be interesting to see, I think, for the rest of the season. But I would be pretty. I think that the priority for Spurs right now should be the number 6 and not the wide attacking players first. Wide attacking players can come in much later, but I think we definitely need to sort out that number 6, because we conceded loss of goals without that defensive mid there, because Bissouma entering the job, and it's a bit of a problem there.
Yeah, look, you guys definitely need to. I mean, the Werner signing, I think in isolation looks weird because of he was average and he is average. I think it depends on who else you bring in. In terms of some of the deals that have actually picking up a bit of pace, when it comes to Arsenal, you're a rival of theirs. Osimhen, Sesko, which of the two do you think they should go for?
Oh, it's like that's a very tricky one. I would say that Sesko, if you watch him, he has been an upcoming striker and he has been doing really good. Whereas Osimhen, I think he had a previous season for where Napoli won the league. He was absolutely fantastic. The last season wasn't great, but you can tell that he is that sort of a class player who, even when he's not in his form, he can definitely score goals. And I think a team like Arsenal, he can definitely be rocking it. So I would definitely not want him to go to either Chelsea or Arsenal. But it would be interesting to see. But I think Sesko would be a decent signing for Arsenal, sort of that particular setup. So, and that is an area that definitely, if they improve in that particular scale, like Arsenal may be slightly unstoppable for next season. And I think next season we may see even Arsenal going for the league with even more ambition. But this question is a very tricky one, actually. But I would say maybe Sesko.
Yeah. I hear that. Listen, top man, thank you for calling in, and we'll speak again soon. Thank you, bro. All the best. Top man. I actually clicked on his profile and then it showed me somebody else's. Next on the show, Mans is here, London's finest. He's a gooner. What you saying, mate?
Hi, how are you, Terry? First
Yeah,
of
I'm
all,
very well.
first of
I'm
all,
very,
big
very
fan of your,
well. Thank you. Thank you.
big fan of your channel. My second time on here. Um, I'd like to speak. I'm an Arsenal fan, so obviously a lot of rumors going on about Benjamin Sesko. Almost looks like it's done. The amount of times it's been brought up. I've been an Osimhen fan for quite a long time now. I think people are sleeping on him because of his form in the past season, but I think context is very important as well. Napoli has sacked Spalletti, hired a very, very, very average manager, and then replaced him with another average manager who was even worse. So I think in terms of management, I think that explains a lot why Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen weren't performing the way they were the season before. But I think if you get him into the right football club, into the right management, right structure, I think he'll start performing again. So personally, I think if we signed somebody like a Victor Osimhen, that is more of a guarantee than Benjamin Sesko. That being said, I have not watched Sesko as much as I watched Osimhen, but every time I did see Sesko, especially last season, the stats are good, but it's extremely frustrating the amount of sitters he misses. He has a bit of that reputation where he misses sitters. At least, in the games against Real Madrid, some Bundesliga games I've seen, I wouldn't call him clinical just yet. And I think Osimhen is more of a guaranteed kind of deal in that. That's for striker.
Yeah, I get that. In terms of the money, how would you feel if Arsenal were to drop 130 million? I think it's euros to be fair, but 130 million euros on him. Would you say that represents sort of a good investment from your perspective as a fan?
Yeah, 100%. 100%, because as much as good strikers, first of all, good strikers these days cost this kind of money anyway. So I don't think if we're trying to buy a guaranteed striker that's going to take us over the line to win the league, then that is going to cost at least 100 million. Isak is going to cost 100 million. Anybody else will cost that money. I know Sesko is 45. I think he's got a release clause, but I think that's a good deal, and I do think we have that money as well, because especially because of the players we're looking to sell. I think Emil Smith Rowe they're looking to sell. I think Thomas Partey is leaving, so that frees up the wage. I think plus sales and the amount of money that Arteta is likely to get from the board, I don't think 130 is really going to, especially in euros as well. I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
I think it depends on who else you want to sign and what you're going to do. But as I say, my only issue with Osimhen, I'm a bit like yourself. I'm someone that's been a fan of his. It's just the lack of interest in him from other top clubs. It's always been a bit of a red flag to me. If you get around,
aren't they?
They've said they are, and now they're sort of not. They've put it down to his age, but then they're just about to sign two 26-year-olds. So I don't quite know. It might be Chelsea saying we're pulling away because the player has indicated that he doesn't want to go there. So we have seen that as well. But yeah, I'm intrigued by what's going to happen with this deal, mate. But listen, Mans, top bloke for calling in and giving us your views and your opinions, and we'll chat again soon. Make sure you call back in, bro. Top man. Thank you. Caliguna is on with us next. What are you saying?
Hey Terry, how you doing?
I'm very, very well. How about yourself?
I'm an Arsenal fan, obviously, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about what everyone's saying about Sesko and all the other strikers that we have possibly coming in.
Go for it.
One of the things I don't like is how Arsenal fans constantly kind of like second guess everything about what Arteta and Edu are trying to do. The perfect example is last year we brought in Havertz, and even I myself questioned what the thinking there was. And at the end of the season, we all saw that he came good. Mm-hmm. Now everyone's questioning, why would we bring in a younger striker, someone that's more of a project, so to speak? I don't get it. I really don't get it. People should have faith in Edu and Arteta. They have not steered us wrong yet. I mean, there have been some transfers they've made that weren't great, but for the most part, you look at it, the majority of the time, they've been right. So I just don't get it.
Listen, I totally understand that train of thought. I think I think it's okay to question, but I think it's when people start throwing their toys out there, Pram. It's okay. Some of your signings haven't worked. Lokonga hasn't worked out, and Fabio Vieira
Vieira's
hasn't
been very
worked
sketchy,
out,
yeah.
and a few others. But part of the reason why some of those guys haven't worked out is because of who's been ahead of them, you know, and getting that regular game time and the consistency of certain individuals. But no one has a perfect hit rate when it comes to transfers. Not even the greatest managers of all time.
Look at City.
Invariably, your expensive signings have worked. So, and you're also now adding players to a well-oiled machine as opposed to a project. So it's a different type of recruitment. So I do agree with you. I think with the job that you guys have done internally when it comes to recruitment over the past 3 to 4 years, I don't get the meltdown some Arsenal fans have. That strikes me as strange. I agree.
And like you always say, it's better to just keep cool, be calm, wait and see. It's always better to just relax, see what happens. And then later, if things don't work out that well, yeah, I'm not about not criticizing. You can be critical of the way your team progresses and the things they do. I'm not against that. I'm not saying people should just shut up and be, all for, yeah, let's go. We're all good. No, I'm not saying that. But at the same time, you got to relax, take your time and see what happens.
Couldn't agree with you more, especially certain clubs. I understand every club's in a different situation, but where Arsenal are now, I don't see any reasons for meltdowns.
Yeah, we just immediately panic. We're such an overreactive fan base. It's ridiculous to me. Sometimes I want to bash my head against the wall.
Well, don't do that, my friend. But look, I appreciate you coming on and having your say. Top man. And we'll speak again soon.
Appreciate
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much indeed. Lee Lynn here says, Terry, Arsenal should go get Bruno Fernandes. I mean, in an ideal world, yes, because the amount of chances he would create for you would be ridiculous, but he ain't going Arsenal, in my opinion. Jimmy here says, Simon Phillips, I know Simon's a good guy, has some top sources at Chelsea, and they are feeling very confident on Sesko and Elise. Worth noting, Arsenal rarely beat them to transfers. I think when it comes to Chelsea, publicly, some Arsenal fans might say no chance, no chance, no chance. I think Arsenal fans deep down inside, the same as Man United fans know, when Chelsea want players in the last 20 years, it feels like they invariably get them. So if they are feeling confident, they'll pay the money, they'll get the structures done, they'll pay above buyout clauses if they have to, Todd Bowley and Clear Lake. So I wouldn't be surprised, Jimmy. I wouldn't, if it announced tomorrow that those two deals were done and Chelsea had got them, would I be sitting there thinking, oh my God, I never saw this happening? Not a chance. I think we need competition for Saka, in addition to 2 central midfielders, a striker and a number 2 goalkeeper. Kudus, Elise, Xavi Simons, or Kupo and Terry will give you Nketiah, Shevchenko, Lokonga, Tavares, and 50 million for Mainu. But that's nowhere near enough. Like, genuinely, nowhere near enough. I would want at least another 350 to 400 million pounds. I genuinely think I rate Mainu that highly. And do you know what I'm basing it on? I'm basing it on my theory of how expensive some of the best players in the world will be in 5, 6, 7 years' time, because TV money is going to keep going up. But there we go. Who am I going to next on here? Matt, what you saying, Matty boy? I didn't see you there. Hello. You're on mute, brother.
Are you all right, Terry?
I'm good. What you here to say, mate?
Yeah, no. Obviously, Arsenal news. On Sesko, I kind of feel like that if it did come down to Arsenal and Chelsea, I would be very confident. With Elise, I think it's clear that he would choose Chelsea over us.
Why are you confident that if you and Chelsea go head to head for Sesko, that Arsenal will get him?
Because I just feel that we can, show him that we have a better project, that we are more sustainable, and that we're kind of moving in the right direction, whereas Chelsea are slowly going up and down. With Victor Osimhen, I don't understand why Arsenal fans are, appealing to him, because as you said, top clubs are just not interested in him. And I think that kind of says a big thing. Obviously about his price, it's sky high, 130 million. and then that's not even getting into his wages that he wants about 350k. So like I kind of think that the money is just too steep. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea do actually do that deal. I know they said that they can't do it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do actually try and do a deal for Victor Osimhen. But I'm very confident about Sesko.
Yeah, listen, I think you should be. All right, now I haven't actually read those, what Jimmy put in. I haven't read the links to Chelsea. I haven't seen any updates from Simon in relation to that. I haven't actually looked at his account today, but I will go and take a look, because when Chelsea are confident on signings, they invariably get them done. What's your take on what Caliguna said before you about Arsenal fans online frustrating him because they're just so negative all the time about your transfer activity?
Yeah, I don't really understand that either. I think people are just getting sick of the young project, and I can understand that to a degree, but with Arteta at the helm, like, he's proved that he can develop these young players and can make them work the majority of the time. For Fabio Vieira, like you said, you know, he's competing with Odegaard, who's the captain. Like, it's kind of a mismatch there. I mean, I can't remember another part, like Sambi Lokonga. He hasn't developed as well as I would have hoped he would. Like, in that, I think it was the 2021 season, he got a decent run of games, and then suddenly, like, he just sat bench for pretty much most of the season. So I personally don't think he is good enough for Arsenal, and I think we kind of made a mistake there. Hopefully he gets signed to Bayern Munich, and Vincent Kompany can, you know, unlock his Yaya Toure potential that he claimed that he can get out of him. But yeah, no, I don't really understand the negativity of transfer business. You know, like, it really confuses me.
I hear you, Matt. Always a pleasure to speak, mate. Thank you for calling in, mate. And we'll speak again soon. Top man. Akil here says, I think the most important position for us to improve is the goalkeeping department. We want to get quality goalkeeper because it's always building from the back. And I think Perisic is average. I think he started really well. You started to see real big cracks appearing him the longer the season went on. I know there's still a lot of people backstage, but I have run out of time. I'm so sorry to everyone who's sitting there and waiting. I really appreciate you phoning in, people. Thank you. To everyone who's tuned in, you're amazing. To the super chatters, everyone who's hit the like button. I always say it, but I mean it. You're absolutely the best community in the world. So thank you. We're going to be back tomorrow with more content for you, reacting to what's ever going on in the football world. Plus, the top 6 show will be in the evening as well, which I'm really excited for, because Igao is getting a cooking. Man is getting cooked, barbecued, live on air. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.